Yeah, I think instead of being like excited and welcoming them to class, I'm just going to like play Billie Eilish's When the Party's Over, and we're just going to be sad about having to go back to work. I think that's probably my cold open. Hey everybody, welcome to CIT 15, Computer Concepts. You're probably taking this because you're a business major and it's required for the major, or maybe you just want to get to know more about computers. But regardless, I'm glad you're here. Every week I try to record one of these videos just so that I can tell you what's going on with the week, kind of what you need to do, maybe stuff I've noticed from the past week. It's just a good way of sort of communicating with students and making sure that everybody is A-OK in the class. My name is Brian Baker. I happen to be the chair of the Computer Information Technology Department. Not that that means a whole ton. I've got a master's degree in computer science, so I primarily deal with programming classes, but I teach one of these every once in a while because, you know, it's nice to stay in connection with, you know, business majors as opposed to all engineering and computer science majors. I mean, I do actually teach in the business division. Now this week's video is going to be a little bit longer, primarily because I'm going to talk about the class in general, in addition to what we're going to be doing this week. Now I'm not going to be talking about everything you need to know for the class. For that, you're going to need to check out the syllabus. That's available when you click on the syllabus link on the left side of the course page. But that's going to have all the details. I'm going to just skim over a few things that'll just kind of help you practically get started with the class. Sort of like when you buy a brand new piece of technology and they give you that quick start guide. This is your quick start guide. The first thing you'll probably notice is the structure of the class. I set up everything by weeks. So, you know, whatever you need to be doing in week one, it's going to be on the week one homepage, which is the first page you're going to see when you log into the course in Canvas. There's also modules. You can go to modules and check out any of the work from this week or the past weeks as we go through the course. But what you need to be doing for the week that we're in will always be right there on the homepage. You can just go through the homepage, see everything you need to do. In fact, you're probably watching this video on the homepage, so it's directly below me is everything you need to do for week one. All right, weeks in this course are going to go from Tuesday morning through Monday night. All assignments for a week are due Monday at 11:59 p.m. for that week. I have a late policy, right? I have a grace period essentially. So for any assignment, you know, all your assignments in week one are due this upcoming, not today, because we just happen to be starting on a Monday because the course starts on a Monday, but you know, you have an extra day this week, right? But this following Monday, 11:59 p.m., that's when all of your assignments are due. But when we start week two on Tuesday morning, all of your, you know, you're gonna have new assignments for week two, but all of the assignments for week one are still gonna be available to you. There'll be a link at the bottom of the homepage for that week. You can go back, do any of those assignments. They are all available to you. You can turn in stuff up to 1 week late, no penalty. That gives you a lot of flexibility in your schedule, allows you to manage your schedule a little bit better. But at the end of that grace period, right? So when week three starts, week one's assignments disappear. They are gone forever. You're going to get a 0. You can't do anything. So you've got flexibility, but with some hard limits, kind of like in the real world. All right, let's talk about some of the things that you're going to be doing in this class and that you're going to be doing this week. Let's start with My IT Lab. My IT Lab is some simulation software made by Pearson. It is required for the class. You cannot pass this class without My IT Lab. In fact, if you look at my drop policy, I have the option of dropping you after 3 weeks if you've not purchased My IT Lab, just because there's no way you can pass the class without it. So I sort of owe it to the California taxpayers to get rid of people who aren't serious. Regardless, it's a simulation software that allows you to, essentially guides you through how to use all of the different programs in Microsoft Office and kind of shows you how everything works, where to click, and all that sort of stuff. It's really, really helpful, especially for online classes. There's 2 ways of purchasing it. You can get an access code through the bookstore, or my recommendation is just go straight to My IT Lab and use our course code. You have to use our course code anyway. But our course code will give you our special Fresno City College discount. I think it's going to be like 80 bucks. Don't quote me on that because it's probably changed a bit. In fact, it might actually be slightly cheaper, but it's cheaper if you buy direct from Pearson. You just need a credit card for that or a debit card. If that's not something that you have, again, you've got the bookstore as an option. But anyway, that's how you would get My IT Lab. There's an entire video showing you how to register for My IT Lab in the week one module or on the week one homepage. So you'll know exactly how to do it. In fact, I even show you kind of how to start the process of the simulations. So if you're not quite sure how to use My IT Lab, I show you how to do it in that video. But you need My IT Lab. Our very first lab is due this week. It's on Windows 10. There's no lab test associated with it, and it's sort of a standalone lab, which makes it a good first one to choose. But also it shows you kind of how to use Windows 10, some of the features of Windows 10, how to navigate, get around. So if you're already familiar with Windows, this should be pretty easy. But hey, I like that. I like starting with something easy. It builds confidence before we get to Excel, and then you all freak out. By the way, if you don't have the money for my IT lab right now, do not fall behind in class. There is a 2-week free trial. So you can, and it's in the video, I show you how to do it. Go in, start your 2-week free trial, and then you can start doing work. You don't have to fall behind in the class. And then you just purchase it within 2 weeks so that you can continue doing work in the class. But nothing that you do with the free trial will get lost as you continue on. So definitely take advantage of that if you need it. And yeah, start My IT Lab this week with Windows 10. The other thing that you'll find in My IT Lab is the ebook, the textbook for the class. It happens to be electronic. There is no physical textbook. I mean, you can get a print upgrade if you want to. That's available. There's a link in there somewhere. If not, I'll make sure that the link is available somewhere if you want to get a print copy. But you really don't need it. In fact, I think the ebook is probably better because you're going to use it as a resource. And so, like most things with resources, like picture the internet, right? This is going to be so much easier if you have a search feature. And so the e-text has a search feature. So if you're looking for the answer to a question, find the appropriate keywords out of that question, type them in, you're going to find that answer probably very quickly. I am perfectly okay with you doing that. That is not cheating. You do not have to read the textbook cover to cover because who does that anyway? But finding sort of a specific piece of information in a large data set, that's actually a super valuable skill in today's economy. So I don't fault you for doing it, but you're going to have quizzes every week, 20 questions chosen at random from a pool of questions. And by the way, that is basically what your final exam is going to be. They're the exact same pools of questions. We're just going to choose randomly from every chapter in the book. The other big thing that you're going to be doing each week is a discussion. Now, I know that students do not like discussions. I have heard you. And so I'm trying to make them as practical and useful as possible. Most of them are going to be, hey, go out and find this resource. Tell me what you think about it. How could you use it in your life? Sometimes it's, hey, watch this video. I want to get your opinion on something. So hopefully they're somewhat entertaining. But in addition to that, if you do not like to type, and I get that, you don't, feel whatever, I don't care about that. There are lots of different ways of expressing yourself. And so one of the options that I'm doing this semester for this class is your discussions, you can just record a video. In fact, that probably will end up making this class feel a lot more like a real class because you'll actually get to hear intonation and see people's faces. And so in Canvas, like when you click, reply underneath the prompt, and you get your little window that has all of the different options for you to type and like boldface things. One of those buttons kind of looks like a little play symbol inside of a screen. You click on it if you have Flash installed on your computer, which your browser might block Flash, but just allow it for that one time. You can actually record your response right there using your webcam. Just talk. Tell us what you think. You don't have to put on makeup or anything. Nobody cares. But you can actually record your own response and not have to type a thing. If you find that to be easier, go that route. All I care about is that you express yourself, that you're able to communicate with the class. And honestly, video is a great way to communicate. It's the way I'm choosing to communicate with you right now. I could have typed all this, right? You probably wouldn't have read it. Anyway, you can also upload a video if you'd rather use your smartphone. Just record a video using your smartphone, send it over to your computer, and you can upload that video, and that's your response for the week. So hopefully discussions will be a little bit more interesting, especially if you're actually hearing from your students, your fellow students, and responding to them that way. Discussions each week. This week's discussion is just an introduction. I just want some basic information. What's your major? You Android or iOS? And a few other things as well. So my response, I actually did a video response to that week 1 prompt, and you'll see that probably as the first response when you go to the discussions for this week. Every teacher does them. I'm trying to make them as painless as possible for you. All right, so a quick checklist of what you should be doing here for week 1. For week 1, read chapter 1. Chapter 1 is all about how technology is changing. I've got a lecture video that I want you to watch that's right here on the page that sort of discusses that, but then takes it in a different direction. It's a little bit dated, but I need to update some of these, but whatever. It's still a good video, right? And then take the quiz for chapter 1. That's right there in Canvas. It's embedded. You'll find it super easy. Then go to My IT Lab. You need to register for My IT Lab this week. I don't care if you pay for it yet. You can use the free trial if you want, but don't fall behind. Get started. Your first lab is going to be Windows 10. Hopefully that's an easy one for you because you already know something about Windows, but get that lab done and then you're on pace, right? And then after that, your discussion. Discussion is just an introduction, so it should be fairly easy. There's no thing you have to do. You already know everything you need to know about yourself. It's just that we don't know anything about you. So either type it, record a video, do whatever, but participate in the discussion, and then that is it for the week. You're done. So hopefully you find that straightforward and easy. Again, eventually, the thing that should be difficult in this class should not be knowing what to do. I've tried to make this class as easy to navigate as possible. The hard thing should be Excel and Access, which I'm okay. That's kind of what is supposed to be hard in this class. Anyway, hopefully we have a great time in this class. Hopefully you enjoy it, find it valuable. If you have any questions, email me, brian.baker@fresnocitycollege.edu. And yeah, I'll see you online. Have a great week.